right, let's talk about packing for a bicycle tour of the Pacific Coast. I have everything laid out, and it's all gonna go into 4 panniers that will be on the front wheel and the rear wheel of my bike, my touring bike. So let's go ahead and start with the kitchen. The key, just like with backpacking, if you've done any hiking, multi-day hiking with a pack, you really want to go light on weight. And the big thing is you don't want to overpack. Just because you have 4 panniers doesn't mean that you want to fill 4 panniers, because on the road you're going to want to stop and get groceries, and also it's just so much easier to pack your panniers up every morning if they're not stuffed, jam-packed with stuff. So as I'm going through all of this, I've been really keeping in mind weight. The more you weigh, the harder it is to pedal up a hill. So I've been keeping in mind weight and how full my panniers are. So for the kitchen, I've got a super lightweight plastic cup. I've got a lightweight backpacking spoon. We do mostly cook for ourselves on tour. Now, different people tour differently. Some people eat out every single meal on a tour and they don't need to bring the kitchen, but we do like to cook most of our meals on our tours. So I do have a pretty extensive kitchen, even though it's all backpacking gear and lightweight. I've got a folding knife so that there's no possibility of anything getting poked in my pack. Always a folding knife. This is a pasta strainer, lightweight, for our little backpacking pot. And that might sound like a really luxury, unnecessary item, but when you're bicycle touring, you burn a ton of calories, and pasta is so good. Those carbs are awesome. So we eat a lot of pasta. The strainer's worth it for us. So then I've got fuel for my little stove, and the stove, it's just a little MSR pocket rocket, and then the MSR fuel, and the stove just sits on top like this. Super lightweight, but it works for everything. You can cook everything on this little stove. It's great. I've got a teeny tiny little pot holder. This is a second mug because it's me and my partner going, so that's Tellum's mug. And I've packed the whole kitchen here in my panniers. A little spatula, sporks. Sporks are a great way to go. If you're getting one, if you don't have one already, get the titanium one. The plastic ones break, which is why we have 2, because we know one of them's gonna break. A lighter, always remember your fire. Dish sponge. And little pot, backpacking pot, and 2 lightweight backpacking bowls that sandwich like this and then pack into the pot, which is awesome. The other thing that you want to do is really make sure you're packing everything down as small as possible, as tightly as possible. So there's some Tetrising that happens in putting the kitchen together and packing it into the panniers. And then we've got a little lightweight folding cutting board. We cook with a lot of vegetables. We're mostly vegetarian, although not strict, but we do cook with a lot of vegetables, so we really use that cutting board a lot. And then we have a life straw. It's a water filter, but you stick it in water and drink right out of the straw, and it filters the water. We don't expect to need a water filter on the Pacific Coast route, which is why this is all we're packing. If we thought that we would need a water filter, then we would be bringing more of a bulky water filter setup. These are awesome. These are water bladders. They're just basically just little plastic water bottles. They fold down flat and small, and they're awesome for storing extra water on long stretches where you're not gonna run into a water source for a while. Got a little kitchen towel that rolls up. This is salt. It's the only seasoning we're bringing, but you always want to have some salt. trash bag, plastic bag. We have one plastic bag to start. These are useful for so many things. If it rains, we'll definitely find a use for it. Otherwise, we might just use it for trash one of our first nights out, but we always bring one trash bag. And then this is a little backpacking skillet that folds down. So, cooking oil. It's actually, this is a little lightweight backpacking bottle that we filled with olive oil. It's easier to do this than to try and find a small enough bottle on the road. And then one thing that we're like kind of serious about on our bicycle or backpacking trips is coffee. Like, we have tried all of the instant coffees out there, and right now our favorite is from Trader Joe's. It's their instant cold brew. So you don't even have to heat water to make coffee out of this. You can just put a scoop of this into cold water and it'll make coffee. We do usually heat water, but it's really nice to have coffee that you can make that easily. So but we've put it into a lightweight plastic container because the container that it comes in is heavy glass. So instant coffee, and then good powdered milk. And when I say good, I mean high fat powdered milk. A lot of the time the powdered milk you find at the grocery store in like the baking section is skim, non-fat, and it just doesn't taste very good. And so this is what we put in our coffee instead of milk or cream in the morning. And I really recommend this. This is such a backpacking bike touring hack. It's called Nido. It's a Mexican brand of powdered milk, and it's really fatty whole milk. It's like 30% fat. So when you're backpacking or bike touring, you're just burning calories like crazy, and you're gonna want fat in your powdered milk. You can find this with the Mexican products in the grocery store. Okay, so then for rain, in case of rain, we're bicycling all of Oregon and Northern California. So that's an area where rain can come at any time. This time of year, it's not likely that we'll get a lot of rain, but we still need to have rain gear. So I have this rain cape, which is really cool. It goes over your head, and then you can actually have it's almost like a poncho, like it's over your arms, over the handlebars, so that your hands don't get wet in the rain, which is super nice. And it's also really visible. You know, if it's raining and dark, this bright yellow is nice so cars can see you. Then all I'm bringing jacket-wise is a puffy coat. This is a down coat from Patagonia. Rolls down really, really, really small. It packs down small. It's extremely lightweight. These are so worth it. It's really worth having one of these because they keep you so warm, but they don't weigh anything. So then, this is a packing cube. I've got 3 of them here. I highly recommend using a packing cube to put your clothes in. It just helps you keep everything, it helps you keep everything organized, but it also helps you pack everything down tight. And these packing cubes, the brand is Gonex. I really love these. We actually took these for 6 months. We were in and out of these nonstop all over Southeast Asia. We had these in our backpacks. And the other thing that's nice about this is that it actually has a compression zipper. So once you've filled it with your stuff, then you zip it even tighter and it compresses it all down so it takes up less space in your panniers. So 3 packing cubes. I've got this safety vest for visibility on foggy, cloudy days. I've got a thermal layer, long sleeve shirt, very lightweight, synthetic. You want synthetic. Make sure that you're not packing, I would say any cotton, but very little cotton for a bike trip, because synthetics will keep you dry and comfortable while you're biking if you're sweating. And when you need to do laundry and dry things, they dry really quickly just hanging up on a line. Cotton takes forever to dry. Then I've got 1 sleeveless synthetic top, a synthetic t-shirt, We are going in the middle of summer here, so it's going to be pretty warm. The coast is cool sometimes, even in summer though, which is why I'm bringing the puffy coat, but it'll mostly be warm weather. Then I've got one merino wool t-shirt, and I wear merino wool socks and absolutely love them. The merino wool clothing, other than socks, is new to me, but I think I'm gonna love it. So this t-shirt's actually getting its test run on this trip, but I suspect I'm really gonna like it. I've got 3 pairs of Darn Tough socks, which are merino wool. And Darn Tough socks, if you're not familiar, are the thing to have. They're amazing. They have a lifetime warranty, and this pair right here, I actually just received for free because I did actually wear a hole in one pair of my Darn Tough socks. It took me like 7 years to do that. But they sent me a new pair, a brand new pair, so that lifetime warranty is pretty bomb. I've got a bikini, 3 pairs of synthetic underwear, and 2 pairs of merino wool underwear. Again, you want that quick dry material, but I think that the merino wool, again, I'm test running it on this tour, but I think that I'm gonna really love it and that that's gonna take the place of the synthetic in the future. We'll see, I'll be updating you on how that goes. I've got 2 buffs. These are just kind of like what I have in my hair now, except they're bigger, so they're a little bit more versatile. These are awesome because they can be sun protection, they can keep your ears warm, they can be a scarf. You can use these for so many different things. I highly recommend having one of these. Then I've got a thermal layer pants. This is for sleeping. I have an extremely lightweight, tiny little sleeping bag with me. And the coast still can get chilly at night, so I thought it would be best for me to bring a small thermal layer for sleeping because I tend to run cold. Then this is a pair of bike shorts, padded bike shorts. I don't usually ride with these, but I'm gonna bring them on this trip because I think if I need them, I'll be really glad I have them. Most of the time I cycle in yoga pants, and so these are cut off yoga pants, just yoga shorts. The brand is Prana. I absolutely swear by this brand. It's amazing. They're so comfortable and they hold up for so long. So I'm bringing these same shorts in a slightly longer version that are down to my knee, and then also a pair of full Prana full-length yoga pants in case we do get some really cold mornings. We like to get up and get going when it's still dark outside, so it's very possible that there could be mornings where I want the long pants. This is a quick dry, lightweight towel. You definitely want one of these. You don't want to bring a regular cotton towel on a bike tour. And then this is a pair of very lightweight synthetic hiking pants. It's REI brand. And these are really for around camp and on our rest days. We plan to take rest days in beautiful places and go for hikes. And it'll be nice to have an option other than my tight-fitting cycling pants. This is my one just like casual comfy thing for around camp, or if we decide to go out to a restaurant or something. It's like a little romper. The reason I chose this is because it is super lightweight and it's a synthetic material. So it'll be easy to wash, it doesn't take up much space, and it's really lightweight. Then packed into here is a little day pack, and you can see it's just teeny tiny. And this actually folds out into a full backpack that we can use on hikes and that sort of thing. It's also great for when we get groceries. Makes a good grocery bag because you can wear it as a backpack. And sometimes if we don't have enough room in our panniers, we'll wear a backpack with groceries in it just till we get to our campsite. So let's talk about my sleeping setup. I have a Thermarest self-inflating pad. And so they build these as self-inflating, and they are self-inflating if you leave it long enough, but it takes a long time. So usually what I do is as soon as I get to camp and get the tent up, I'll throw this in, I'll let it start inflating. But usually I will finish the inflation just by blowing a few breaths in. And I think it takes like 4 or 5 breaths to fill it up completely. It's awesome. These are great. highly recommend spending some money on a sleeping pad. It makes the whole trip more comfortable. Good sleep is really important when you're working your body this hard. Now this is totally a luxury, and a lot of people will not carry this. Tom, my partner, definitely does not bring one of these, but this is a little inflatable pillow. I just really love to have a pillow. A lot of people will just take their sleeping bags, stuff sack, and fill it with like clothes and use that as a pillow, but I like the support of an actual pillow. So if you're someone who has like neck or back pain a lot, a little inflatable pillow is a good idea, and it can go a long way. And you can see it's just tiny. It takes up no space. It's very, very light. Then I've got my sleeping bag, which, as you can see, and I talked about this earlier, teeny, teeny, tiny, very lightweight. It's down. But this is my first trip with this bag. It's Near Zero is the brand, and I'm willing to give it a try. Because we're going in summer. It's rated to 45 plus. I have a feeling that is optimistic, which is why I packed the thermal layer, and I'm also bringing my silk sleeping bag liner for just a little bit more warmth in there. If I'm freezing at night, I'll let you guys know. You'll hear about it. Then my portion of the tent that I'm carrying, so we actually have a 3-man backpacking tent, although I don't know how you would fit 3 people in it. But we have that because originally when we started traveling, we traveled with our dog, and our dog was 45 pounds. And so we got a tent that was big enough for the 2 of us and him. And I looked it up, and the 2-person tents, they're only like a few ounces lighter, so it just wasn't worth getting a new tent. So we're still carrying that same tent. But it is a backpacking tent, so it is lightweight, and I do recommend using a lightweight backpacking tent for bicycle touring, because you don't want to be carrying the extra weight on your bike. And they also pack down small. So I carry the tent poles and the rain fly, which I haven't done a great job of making this as small as possible. I might even repack it to because it could get a lot smaller than this. And then Tom carries the actual tent body in his pannier. This is to go with our Kryptonite U-lock. The U.S. Pacific Coast is definitely somewhere where you want to lock your bike. We are familiar with the area, and there are definitely certain areas where theft is a problem. So we definitely are bringing good locks. Northern California also on the Pacific Coast route. If you're doing it, Northern California, some of the towns that it goes through are kind of high theft. So keep that in mind. You want to bring a good lock. If we have one U-lock in these 2 cables, if you are just one person cycling alone, a good U-lock should be plenty for you. This keeps us from having to bring 2 heavy U-locks. Then, let's see, we'll go through toiletries. So I basically just take all of the over-the-counter medications that I think I might want. Ibuprofen is a big one. Allergy medicine for me, because this time of year I get hay fever and I can be allergic to the trees. For ladies, cranberry pills are a great idea when you're doing long distance cycling. UTIs are something that come up for a lot of women while cycling. So cranberry pills. And then just I have like some Alka-Seltzer in case one of us, gets a cold. And I also have packets of the emergency hydration and vitamin mix that you put into water. That can be really nice as you go. I keep my toiletries. This time I usually put my toiletries in whatever random Ziploc-y bag I can find. I think that this vest came in this bag, so I'm using it for toiletries. And as far as toiletries go, I've got a shampoo, a conditioner, and a face wash. For me, the face wash is kind of a luxury. It just feels really good to have a nice soap, especially made for your face at night. You could use Doc Bronner's. So we have a small thing of Doc Bronner's Castile soap. You can use this for everything. You can wash your hair, your body, your clothes, your everything with this, your dishes. but it can be a little harsh. And so I kind of go luxury with the toiletries and bring some nicer things. We've got Camwa cream. This is for if you start to get any chafing while you cycle, this will save your life. Toothbrush, toothpaste. Oh, bring a padlock with you if you are touring anywhere where there's going to be hiker-biker sites. And certainly if you're touring the Pacific Coast, you're going to want a padlock, because a lot of the hiker-biker sites, the campground area, has lockers that you can use. And you can actually, the lockers actually have charging stations in them. So you can plug your stuff in, lock it up overnight while you sleep. It's super cool. But do remember a lock. Let's see what else is in here. Yeah, and then the Doc Bronner's, we use that for dishes, laundry, basically all miscellaneous soap needs. It's awesome. Really good stuff. And a little goes a long way. So this tiny little bottle will last us the whole trip. And then for women, I use a Diva cup when traveling. I highly recommend it. You don't have to deal with trying to find tampons on the road. So if you're going to be traveling at that time of the month, consider a Diva cup. They're really awesome. Okay, let's see. A hat. I can put this under my helmet also if I want like a visor while I'm biking, but mostly I'll use this around camp and on our rest days for hikes. And then a pair of lightweight flip-flops, sandals. These are my favorite. They're actually made out of yoga mat material, and I wore these all over Southeast Asia, walked in them like crazy, and they're still in great shape. So these yoga mat sandals are awesome. And then definitely make sure that you have a bike tube that fits your tires, at least one. Because the Pacific Coast route has a lot of bike shops along the way, one will probably be fine. If you do get a flat and end up using this, if you have a patch kit, then you can go ahead and patch your tube and reuse the tube that got punctured. Charging cables. I'll also be bringing my phone, which is recording this video. I use my phone for everything, video, camera, and I actually do the video editing and uploading right off of my phone. So the phone is all I'm going to bring on this trip. I used to bring a big ol' DSLR with me, but I just got the newest iPhone that has an amazing camera. So that's all I have to bring this time, which is great. And then the other thing that you want to consider that I am not packing in my bag, but that we do have in Tom's bag, you want to make sure you have a complete bike tool. So a bike tool that has all the different sizes of Allen wrenches. It has a couple different types of wrenches on it. So make sure that you have a good bike tool. The other thing that we have that is a problem that we ran into a bunch on our first bicycle tour, it's really hard to communicate with, if you're cycling with someone, it's really hard to communicate with them while you're cycling. So we carry whistles in our handlebar bags so that the person behind who's not leading, if they need to get the attention of the person in front of them, they can just whistle really loud. It's really worth having, actually. So yeah, I think that that's it. So this is all going to go into 4 panniers, and I will share some pictures of how that works as it goes into the panniers. Thanks for watching, and we're going to do a bunch of videos as we go, so stay tuned, and definitely like and subscribe if you want to follow along.